My girlfriend of 3 years sent me a photo from the airport showing her holding hands with another man while claiming she was traveling for work. When I confronted her, she called me paranoid and said I was misunderstanding what I saw. I didn't respond to her gaslighting. Instead, I quietly canceled the credit card she'd been using and reported it as stolen. 12 hours later, she was stranded at her destination, begging me to fix this misunderstanding. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts, but here I am at 3 in the morning, unable to sleep, with my phone screen burning my eyes as I type this out. My name is Robert, I'm 28, and until yesterday I thought I had my life figured out. I had a stable job as a software engineer, a decent apartment, and what I believed was a loving relationship with my girlfriend Jessica, who's 26. We'd been together for 3 years, and I genuinely thought she was the one. Jessica worked in marketing for a mid-sized company that required occasional travel. At least, that's what she told me. She'd been taking more and more business trips over the past 6 months, sometimes for a week at a time. I trusted her completely because, well, why wouldn't I? She was always good about staying in touch, sending me photos of her hotel rooms, the conference venues, even her meals. It felt like she was making an effort to include me in her travels, which I appreciated. That trust came crashing down yesterday morning when she sent me what she probably thought was just another innocent travel photo. It was a picture of her at the airport, presumably waiting for her flight to Denver for what she said was a 3-day marketing conference. She was sitting in one of those uncomfortable airport chairs, smiling at the camera, and her hand was clearly intertwined with someone else's. A man's hand. The photo was cropped, but I could see part of his arm, his watch, and those fingers that definitely weren't mine wrapped around hers. My stomach dropped. I stared at that photo for what felt like hours, zooming in, trying to convince myself I was seeing things wrong. Maybe it was just the angle, maybe it was someone sitting next to her who happened to gesture at the wrong moment. But no, there was no mistaking it. Their fingers were interlocked, intimate, comfortable. This wasn't accidental contact with a stranger. I screenshot the photo and called her immediately. She answered on the second ring, her voice bright and cheerful. "Hey babe, just about to board, miss you already." "Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "I need you to explain something to me." "What's up? I'm about to board, so make it quick." I took a deep breath. "The photo you just sent me." "Whose hand are you holding?" There was a pause, a long pause. I could hear airport announcements in the background, the bustle of travelers, but she was silent. "What are you talking about, Marcus?" "In the photo, Sarah, you're holding someone's hand, a man's hand." "Oh my God," she laughed, but it sounded forced. "You're being paranoid. I'm not holding anyone's hand. You're misunderstanding what you're seeing." "I'm looking right at it, Sarah." "Your fingers are intertwined with someone else's." "Marcus, you're being ridiculous. I'm sitting next to some business colleagues. Maybe someone gestured and it looked weird in the photo. I can't believe you're accusing me of something like this." The gaslighting was immediate and aggressive. She was trying to make me doubt my own eyes, my own sanity. This was a tactic I'd seen described in forums and articles, but experiencing it firsthand was disorienting. "Sarah, I'm not blind. I can see exactly what's in this photo." "You know what? I don't have time for this. I have a flight to catch. We'll talk when I get back, and hopefully you'll have come to your senses by then." She hung up on me. I sat there in my apartment, staring at my phone, feeling like the world had shifted beneath my feet. The woman I'd been planning to propose to in a few months had just blatantly lied to me, and then made me feel crazy for questioning what I could clearly see with my own eyes. But here's the thing about being a software engineer: we're problem solvers. We look at data, we analyze patterns, and we find logical solutions. So instead of spiraling into emotional chaos, I started thinking strategically. First, I went back through her previous travel photos. Now that I knew what to look for, I started noticing things I'd missed before. In a photo from her Chicago conference last month, there was a man's reflection in the window behind her. In another from her San Francisco trip, there were 2 coffee cups on the table in front of her, and she'd claimed she was dining alone. The evidence had been there all along, I'd just been too trusting to see it. Second, I remembered that she'd been using my credit card for her travels. She'd claimed her company card was having issues and that she'd get reimbursed. I'd added her as an authorized user on my account about a year ago, back when I thought we were building a life together. She'd been using it for flights, hotels, meals, everything. That's when I had my moment of clarity. She wanted to gaslight me to make me question my own perception of reality. She wanted to treat me like I was stupid. Fine. But if she was going to play games, I was going to play to win. I called my credit card company and reported the card as stolen. I told them that someone had been making unauthorized charges on my account. Technically true. If Sarah was cheating on me, then she certainly wasn't authorized to use my money to fund her affairs. The representative was very understanding and immediately froze the card. They would send me a new one within 48 hours. Then I waited. Sarah's flight was supposed to land in Denver at 6 p.m. I knew she'd probably try to check into her hotel around 7 or 8 p.m. I didn't call her, I didn't text her, I just waited. My phone started ringing at 8:47 p.m. Marcus, her voice was frantic. Something's wrong with your credit card, the hotel won't accept it, they're saying it's been reported as stolen. Oh no, I said, keeping my voice calm and concerned. That's terrible, what happened? I don't know, they're saying the card is frozen. I'm standing here in the lobby with my luggage and they won't give me a room. Can you call them and fix this? That's really strange, let me think about this. I paused, letting the silence stretch. You know, Sarah, I've been thinking about our conversation this morning. What, Marcus, I need you to fix this right now, I'm stranded here. I keep looking at that photo you sent me, the one where you're holding hands with another man. We already talked about this, you're being paranoid. I wasn't holding anyone's hand. Now please, I need you to call your credit card company. See, that's the thing, Sarah. I've been really confused about what I was seeing, so I decided to get a second opinion. I paused again. I showed the photo to my sister Emma, who's 24, and she immediately said, "Oh wow, Sarah's holding hands with someone. Who is that?" Then I showed it to my buddy Jake, who's 30, and he said the same thing. Then I showed it to my coworker Lisa, who's 32, and she also saw exactly what I saw. Silence. So either 4 different people are all having the same hallucination, or you're lying to me. Marcus, please, I'm stuck here. We can talk about this when I get home. You know what's interesting? I started looking at your other travel photos too. Funny how there are always little signs that you're not alone. A man's reflection here, an extra coffee cup there, hotel rooms that are clearly set up for 2 people. Her voice got smaller. I can explain everything. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you have a whole story ready, but here's the thing, I'm done being gaslit. I'm done being made to feel crazy for believing my own eyes. I'm done financing your affairs. My affairs? Marcus, you're being... I reported the credit card as stolen, Sarah, because technically that's what it is. Someone I don't know has been using my money to fund activities I never approved of. The line went quiet except for the sound of her breathing. So here's what's going to happen, I continued. You're going to figure out your own accommodation tonight. You're going to figure out your own way home. And when you get back, you're going to come get your things from my apartment. We're done. Marcus, please, you don't understand. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. And you know what the worst part is? If you had just been honest with me, if you had just told me you weren't happy instead of lying and cheating, I would have respected that. I would have been hurt, but I would have understood. Instead, you chose to lie, to cheat, and then to try to make me feel crazy for seeing the truth. I never meant for this to happen, but it did happen. And when I confronted you about it, instead of owning up to it, you tried to gaslight me. You tried to make me doubt my own sanity. That's not something I can forgive. She was crying now. I love you, Marcus. I made a mistake, but I love you. No, Sarah, you love the security I provided. You love having someone to pay for your trips while you were off with whoever this other guy is. That's not love, that's convenience. Please don't do this. I'll end things with him. I'll do anything. Him, so you admit there is a him. Another pause. It's complicated. It's really not complicated at all. You're in a relationship with me, and you're also in a relationship with someone else. That's called cheating. And the fact that you're just now admitting it, only after you're stranded without my credit card, tells me everything I need to know about your character. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry too, Sarah. I'm sorry I wasted 3 years of my life on someone who would treat me like this. I'm sorry I trusted you, and I'm sorry it took me this long to see who you really are. I hung up on her. She called back immediately. I didn't answer. She called again. I didn't answer. She sent a series of increasingly desperate text messages, ranging from anger to bargaining to fake remorse. I didn't respond to any of them. The next morning, I got a text from her saying she'd found a place to stay and would be flying home on Tuesday. She asked if we could talk when she got back. I didn't respond. Tuesday evening, she showed up at my apartment. I'd expected this, so I had her things already packed in boxes by the door. When she knocked, I opened the door but didn't invite her in. "Marcus, please, can we just talk?" "There's nothing to talk about, Sarah. Your stuff is right here." She looked at the boxes, then back at me. "So that's it, 3 years, and you're just throwing it all away." "I'm not throwing anything away. You threw it away the moment you decided to cheat on me. You threw it away when you decided to lie to me. You threw it away when you tried to make me feel crazy for seeing the truth." "I made a mistake." "No, Sarah. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk at the store. A mistake is being late for dinner. What you did was make a series of conscious choices over several months. You chose to start a relationship with someone else. You chose to lie to me about it. You chose to use my money to fund your affair. You chose to gaslight me when I confronted you about it. Those weren't mistakes. Those were deliberate actions." She started crying again. "I never meant to hurt you. But you did hurt me. And the fact that you never meant to doesn't make it better. It makes it worse because it means you were so thoughtless, so selfish, that you never even considered how your actions would affect me." "I love you." "No, you don't. You love the idea of me. You love the security I provided. You love having someone to fall back on. But you don't love me because if you did, you never would have done this." She picked up her boxes, struggling a bit with the weight. "I didn't offer to help. I hope you'll be happy," she said. "I will be. Because I'll be happy with someone who actually loves me, someone who's honest with me, someone who doesn't try to make me feel crazy for believing my own eyes." She left. That was a week ago. I haven't heard from her since, and I don't expect to. I found out through mutual friends that she'd been seeing a guy named David, who's 29, from her office for about 6 months. Apparently, several people at her company knew about it, which explains why she was so confident in her lies. She'd been practicing them on other people for months. I also found out that she'd been telling people that I was controlling and paranoid, setting up the narrative that I was the problem in our relationship. It's amazing how cheaters always try to flip the script, isn't it? But here's the thing, I'm not angry anymore. I'm not hurt anymore. I'm relieved. I'm relieved that I found out who she really was before I proposed to her. I'm relieved that I found out before we got married, before we had kids, before we built a life together based on lies. I'm also proud of myself for how I handled it. I didn't scream at her. I didn't call her names. I didn't try to hurt her the way she hurt me. I just removed her access to my resources and told her the truth about what I saw. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply refuse to participate in someone else's lies. The credit card company, by the way, was very understanding when I explained the situation. They removed all of her charges from the past month and expedited a new card for me. Apparently, this kind of thing happens more often than you'd think. I'm doing better now. I'm focusing on work, spending time with friends, and figuring out what I want my life to look like moving forward. I'm not rushing into anything new, but I'm not closing myself off to possibilities either. I know now what I won't tolerate in a relationship, and I know I have the strength to walk away when someone shows me who they really are. To anyone reading this who might be going through something similar, trust your instincts. Trust what you see with your own eyes. Don't let anyone gaslight you into doubting your own reality. And remember that you deserve someone who will be honest with you, even when the truth is difficult. You deserve better than someone who will lie to your face while holding another person's hand.